Hey you guys, so my name is Erin Kershaw and I am a mind, body, soul coach, and I'm also an exercise physiologist. And Mrs. Biddle was actually my 10th grade math teacher, and I am 31 now. And although I am still terrible at math, absolutely terrible, I think I turned out pretty okay. And that was without practicing mindfulness at the age that you guys are practicing mindfulness. So I first have to give you incredible kudos for being so brave and trying something totally neat and not new. It's been around for a very long time, but maybe new to you. You know, I think about if I had practiced mindfulness at your age, and I had intentionally worked at being present and being kind to myself and being kind to others, I think it would have helped me tremendously through, my elementary school years and my middle school years and my high school years. The truth is that I had a pretty tough time in middle school and high school. I was bullied a lot, and I felt anxious and uncomfortable in my body, and I didn't think I was smart enough, and I constantly doubted myself, and I was insecure, and I never felt good enough, and it was a tough time for me. And you are learning these skills that can radically help you and transform your life at such an early age. So I just have to express my gratitude for you guys for being so brave and courageous, because you are learning tools and you are using neuroscience and mindfulness and presence to tackle all of the feelings and the thoughts that come up, which, for how old you are, this is a critical time for you to grow and develop. So again, kudos to you for beginning this practice now. So we're going to start off by just going into a gentle mindfulness practice, all right? So I'm going to share some guidelines. There are no rules here to this thing. There's no right or wrong. It's just preferences and playing until you figure out what works for you, what speaks to you. So I'm going to have you, maybe you're seated in a chair and your feet are connected to the ground, or maybe you're cross-legged, okay? And I'm going to have you find a spinal position that is upright and straight. You're awake, right? You're awake, you're alive. You probably aren't going to fall asleep in this position, although, as a side note, we fall asleep a lot in meditation, and it's totally okay. We'll talk about that more. So just find a comfortable position that's upright, but relaxed. You can hold it for a few minutes here, okay? Your feet are on the floor, or maybe they're cross-legged. And your hands are just going to gently be in your lap, or maybe kind of right over your knees and the top of your thighs. Your palms can be facing towards the sky, but they can also be down as well. I typically just keep mine down. Your eyes. So my spiritual teacher, Pema Chodron, she actually practices a form of Buddhism and mindfulness where she keeps her eyes open. And the way that she does this is she just has a soft gaze about 6 feet in front of her, and she's not really focusing on a focal point. They're just a very soft, gentle gaze. And her eyes are gently open without much effort. Many other people like to keep their eyes closed. And I'm going to be shutting my eyes today. But it's really important to play with different methods of mindfulness. Sometimes I open my eyes and sometimes I close my eyes. It could be, you know, a different day, a different month, a different week, but sometimes things just speak to me differently. Mindfulness isn't a rigid practice, so I really encourage you to play. So the other option here is our eyes are gently closed. And it's important to not like crunch down on our eyes and shut them real tight, but it's just a gentle closing of the eyelid. No straining. We're going to place our gentle attention on the inhale of the cool air coming in through your nostrils. And the exhalation of warm air, either through maybe a small parting of the lips through the mouth, or maybe it's too much effort to hold your mouth slightly open today, so you're just going to exhale that air out, that warm air, out through the nostrils. Thoughts are going to come in and out, and in and out. That's our thinking, brilliant brain working in the only way it knows how. And from now on, when you notice yourself thinking, or maybe lost in thought instead of paying attention to perhaps your breath, I encourage you to just visualize yourself in a field. And you're looking up at the sky and it is so brilliantly blue. But there are a few clouds in the sky. Maybe we're laying down in the field and we're just watching these clouds just gently pass through the sky. The clouds are your thoughts, and the blue sky is you. You without your thoughts. What a miracle it is to realize that you are not your thoughts. We're going to just gently shift our attention to where we feel ourselves breathing. So we may feel ourselves breathing in our belly or our chest or even our throat. Our breaths may be long and deep or short and shallow. Or easy and effortless, or maybe restricted and a bit constricted. And how our breath feels is more oftentimes than not related to where our nervous system and our psyche is. And so we have two states of being. So we have our parasympathetic nervous system and our sympathetic nervous system, which we'll definitely talk about at a later time. But we have this way of being that's in fight or flight. Maybe you're there today because you're feeling anxious about a test or a paper that you just don't feel like you have enough time or energy to write. Or maybe if you're like me, you're in fight or flight because you're just waiting for the bell to ring. Because once you go out into the hallway, you're going to get bullied again, and it's going to be really tough. And some emotions that go along with this state of being are fear, anxiety, depression, insecurity, feeling overwhelmed, feeling uncomfortable. Although you can feel uncomfortable in the other state of being too. And then you have this other state of being, and it's your rest and digest and relaxation way of being. So maybe you feel this way when you're moving your body on the field during practice. Or when you're dancing or creating. And some emotions that go along with this rest and digest and relaxation state is love and joy and creation and flow and being and presence and inspiration and passion. And so typically when we are in a more relaxed and present, loving state, we breathe maybe more deeply through our belly, feeling our back and our belly up with air. Our breaths are typically longer and deeper. And when we are afraid or angry or anxious, we typically breathe shorter and shallowly, if that's a word. And it typically comes from our chest and our throat. But the trick here is to not judge yourself for any way that you're breathing or not breathing. The trick here is to not try to get into any kind of state. It's just to observe these emotions, these thoughts, and your breath. Just notice them without judgment, without trying to change anything. And also trusting your body and your mind and your soul that it knows how to breathe and function. And sometimes it just needs a little bit of help and support from ourselves, our mindful, conscious selves. And just settling back in. And placing our gentle attention on just the inhale of the cool air through our nostrils, and the exhale of the warm air through the mouth or the nostrils. Not trying to breathe a certain way. Just gently noticing with complete effortlessness. And gently taking that concentration off of the breath and not focusing. Allowing your mind to think if it wants. Allow anything to come up. And then just gently reconnect to that breath. As you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing back a little bit of life into the body. And when you're ready, gently opening up your eyes and pausing for a moment before you get up to just check in with yourself and see how you feel. This is my cat, Sam. He's coming to say hello. He always sits in my lap when I meditate, and I swear it's because I'm totally present and he's drawn to it, or he just wants to be petted. I don't know, but I'm going to go with both. So awesome job today. I hope that you had a interesting time. It may have been frustrating and your mind may have been going a million miles an hour, and that is totally okay. Don't judge yourself. Just notice and observe. And if you guys have any questions about different resources, so there are a lot of apps on our phones for 10-minute, 5-minute meditations. I can definitely put you in the right direction, and I will definitely be making more videos for you guys. So I will give my information out and my email out to you. It's Erin, E-R-I-N, as in Nancy, at erinkershaw.coach. So please email me if you guys have any questions or want to share or have any feedback, and I'll have Mrs. Biddle maybe write my email up on the board. I don't know if you guys have chalkboards anymore. Things have changed a lot since I've been in school. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you so much for working with me today. It's been a joy. Have a great day.